Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fall 2026 Senior College Faculty Showcase. I'm Jennifer Reed. I'm the Director of Senior College. I'm joined today by my colleague, Darlene Marks, who works very closely with me in the College of Continuing Studies here at Bridgewater State University. Darlene, can you give a wave to folks so they know who you are? Yes, good. Good to see you. And Linda is not here, but all of you know that Linda works very closely with us as well. And she's not here today. She has a personal thing to attend to, but she's always behind the scenes and helping us as well. So big thanks to Linda and Darlene for everything they did this summer and this spring to make this fall semester possible. The structure of today's event will be that I will offer a little bit of a background about senior college. I'll try to be as quick as I can because the most important thing is that we're here to hear from the faculty. And I will say to the instructors and faculty that are here, I can see there's quite a few of you. So I know this is hard to do, but the hope is that you'll share maybe one thing that you're really excited to share in your course, or one thing that you're hoping to convey or have the participants learn about in your course. And then if you could share the name of your course and where it is, and if it's Zoom or in person, and then just the first date and time. You don't need to share the whole schedule. I will say the whole schedule is, of course, on our website. We have several ways for you to look at the schedule. We have something called the quick glance, although it's hard to see because here we go. We have the quick glance schedule. This is the handy, just the dates, the times, the format of the class. So I encourage you, I like to have it printed. So you can get that on our website. We also have a full printable course catalog on our website that gives the full course descriptions and instructor biographies. And then, of course, all the courses themselves. Yes, thank you, Ellen. I see she's printed that. You can also just view the courses right there on our website. And on our website, you can search for the courses in various ways. So you can search for them by just looking at all the courses. There's 73 of them this semester. You can search by day of the week, by location, by subject area, by fully online courses. So you can, there's various ways. So if you're like free on Mondays and you just want to look at courses on Mondays, you can go ahead and do that via our website. So let's first talk about, if in the chat, if you wouldn't mind, I know a lot of the folks that are here have been members of senior college previously. So if you could put in the chat where you're zooming in from today, and maybe the favorite course that you've taken in the past, or something that you learned in the past at senior college that you'd want to share with the group. So where are you zooming in from today, and your favorite course? If you're new to senior college, then put maybe something you're looking forward to in the fall, assuming you've had a chance to look at the schedule already. Okay, so senior college is a lifelong learning program for older adults. We don't actually have a specific age limit, so anyone can participate regardless of their age. But of course, most of our members are, somewhere in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, but we're open to all. And of course, most of our courses are during the day, so we're geared towards folks that are, in the retirement phase of life. There is no grades, there is no tests, there is no prerequisites. Anyone can participate regardless of your, as I said, age, your own educational background, your alumni status, or where you live. Last semester, we had members from, I think, 6 states, and we even had a member from France, which was really exciting for us. So please spread the word, because sometimes people will say, I don't know if I can participate because I'm not, 55, or folks will think, I have to be an alum, or anything like that. We're completely open to anyone that would like to join us. We have courses in 2 formats mostly. So they're either in person at our various locations. And so in person, we have courses in Plymouth Center for Active Living, Hingham Center for Active Living, Nelson Senior and Community Center in Norton, the Center for Active Living here in Sandwich, and the Old Colony YMCA in East Bridgewater. And new this fall is the East Bridgewater Senior Center. And of course, we have our sort of our bread and butter, which is the Bridgewater Public Library. And we also offer quite a few courses on our campus. So here in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Of course, we always have, oh, Attleboro. We have Attleboro. I forgot Attleboro. We have BSU Attleboro too. We offer courses there. I always forget Attleboro. It's terrible. Um, and we have many benefits to membership beyond the courses. Oh, I also wanted to mention, so half the courses, about half of them are in person, and then the other half are via Zoom. So if you're here in the Zoom, then you're already, halfway there. And our Zoom courses are wonderful. And some of our Zoom courses have like an in-person experience that's optional too. So we might have, for example, like a birding class, and then we have a meetup where folks go and, do a bird watching experience. So sometimes classes are what we would call a hybrid class. There's many benefits to your membership, including if you want to, this is optional, you can get like a student account at the university, and that would give you access to a free parking sticker, our state-of-the-art fitness center, which is incredibly beautiful and valuable, library services. You could get an electronic subscription to the New York Times online, the New York Times app, etc. So that's a great benefit. And if you're a member, we send you more information on that. And those benefits start in the fall, like after Labor Day. We also have something called the virtual Happy Yappy Hour. That's a social Zoom gathering every other Friday night at 6 p.m. It's very popular and they have a lot of fun in that group. So you're welcome to join that anytime. You get special access, pre-access to our special events. So sometimes we have, or pretty frequently, once or twice a semester, we have free meetups. A lot of times it's at like a local museum. We went to the Fuller Craft Museum or the Buddhist Temple in Rainham. So we have all kinds of those great events. They do fill up fast. So if you're a member, I encourage you to register for them as soon as possible. And we're going to try to do more and more of those events. I also encourage our members to think about hosting one of those events. And all you basically have to do is, say, hey, Jen or Linda or Darlene, I'd like to host an event. And you basically tell us the date and the time and the location, and then we send out an email. And I know folks have a lot of fun doing those. You also, as a member, get special access to international trips. So you might have heard we went to Ireland in 2025. We went to Scotland in May of 26. And this coming spring in May 2027, we're headed to France and Switzerland. Those trips have become incredibly popular. Fingers crossed that we're adding potentially a second international trip in 2027. So stay tuned for more information on that. That would be in the fall, October time. And that trip sold out in 12 minutes. So it is a real serious thing that people are really engaged with these international trips. And you can only at this point get access to them if you're a member of Senior College. We also have something called the member-only video library. A lot of our Zoom classes are recorded, and they are you can watch them at any time. The nice thing is you can watch them without being registered in them. So you can take 7 courses with your membership. The membership costs $95. And so if you sign up for 7 courses and then there's a few more that you want to watch at a later time, you can do that in the member-only video library. And I know a lot of folks take advantage of that. It's also helpful if you just miss a class and you can watch it later and get caught up. We also provide scholarships need-based scholarships to anyone that requests them. So you can just email us at BSU Senior College at bridgew.edu to request a scholarship. And we also offer free lifetime memberships to anyone that is 90 or older. So let us know if you fall in that category or if you know someone who falls in that category. We've had some members that will like bring a neighbor to an in-person class who's 90 or older. And so we love when that happens. So think about the people in your life that might want to attend an in-person class that are in the 90 or older category. Registration starts on Monday, August 3rd for people who were members this past spring. It'll open at 9 a.m. You will get, oops, sorry, my phone is ringing. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, registration for previous members opens on Monday, August 3rd at 9 a.m. You'll get an email from me at that time, and it opens on Wednesday, August 5th for new members to senior college. And again, if you're on our email list, you'll get an email letting you know that that's happening. I just wanted to mention that when you, so now is the time to go back to our website, make sure you know your username, your password. There's options on the website to, sorry, I'm looking at my other screen here. When you go to sign in, you can click find my username, you can click reset my password. So get all your ducks in a row before registration starts so that on the morning of registration, you're not panicked on that. And also, remember when you're registering, this is to folks, all the folks that are will be rejoining us or joining us for the first time. You have to add your membership to your shopping cart on our website first. Then you'll be able to add courses. If you don't add the membership, the platform will not show you the option to add the individual courses to your cart. I will send you detailed instructions. You'll get more information on that, but just reach out to us now if you have any questions about how that all works. Darlene, did I miss any of the important things? Or did I cover things? I see lots of things in the chat. Did I, but I didn't read it. Darlene, I'm good. You're muted, Darlene.
Yeah, yeah. New York. Did you happen to mention New York? I mean,
Yes, we're working on a Broadway New York City trip with Lisa Rafferty, one of our most popular instructors. So look forward to more information on that. We're hoping to pull that together potentially for the fall, Darlene.
maybe.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're hiring a person. So it all depends on like when this person starts and how great they are. And we'll see. So stay tuned. But again, you have to be a member to get the information on this. Okay, so before we get started, I wanted to share one plug for an instructor who can't be here, one of our most beloved instructors, Sandra Mondakowski Temple. She's offering a course that starts Friday, September 25th. It's called To the Shores of Tripoli, Establishing Freedom of the Seas, the Barbary Wars, President Jefferson's and Madison's War of Choice, 1801 to 1850. I love how specific Sandra will find the tiniest little slice in history and just go so deep on these little slices of history. And if you've taken a class with her, you know and love her. She said, "Yo ho ho," in a bottle of buttermilk. Not the Pirates of the Caribbean, but rather the Barbary Pirates. 1801, President Thomas Jefferson's War of Choice, in which he did not consult Congress before ordering the attacks. Grab a bottle of buttermilk and join Sandra on Fridays at 2:30 in September to learn and discuss both Barbary Wars, the goal of which was to make the Mediterranean Sea an open, free international waterway. Sound familiar? Yo ho ho. So that sounds really excited. And so encourage you to consider attending. If you've been here a long time, you've probably taken a course with her, and people absolutely love Sandra. And she's a little under the weather, so we wish her well, but I know she'll be in great shape by September. Okay, so now I just want to, okay, let's go to Suzanne Buglioni. Let's go to you start first, and then I'm going to, while you're talking, I'll be looking through the chat to see which other instructors need to go quick. So welcome, Suzanne. Good to see you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I feel like every new semester is an exciting time for making all the choices of which courses everyone will take. So I'm going to give you just a quick nutshell about the course that I am offering. It is called The Societal Impact of Drugs and Addiction. We all know how rampant the the problem of drugs and addiction are. The problem is a societal one, but it's also significantly affects families. And this course will run on Mondays from 2:30 to 3:50 in the afternoon on Zoom, starting on September 28th. We will not be recording this course because it's my experience that people really do want to talk about the sticky issues that come along with drugs and addiction. There are a lot of things that folks have not talked about before. And also, many folks want to share about their personal experience, whether it was an issue for them themselves or for a grandchild or a nephew or some other important family connection. So this is going to be a time where people can talk about these issues. We're going to talk about everything from the most current research about what we're learning of this being a brain disease. We're going to talk about activities that can serve as prevention for drugs and addiction. If we're raising grandchildren or helping our own children to raise children. We're going to also talk about treatment because one of the things the research is telling us is that treatment works, and there are a range of different kinds of treatments. So we're going to talk about every drug from caffeine to cocaine and beyond. And so this touches all of our lives to some degree. And we want to create a safe space in our course to not only learn together, but to share together. And so I welcome you to think about joining us. I have taught this course before, and there may be folks that have taken it. I would welcome you to come back again. And I see so many people here that I'm not familiar with. I welcome you to consider this course and to join me on this journey. So thank you so very much, Jen. I'm really happy to be back with Senior College.
Oh, well, it's great to see you, and you're welcome back every semester. We appreciate you so much, Suzanne. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being
Thank
here. I
you.
know how
Sorry I
busy
have
you
to
are.
leave soon.
No, no worries, no worries. Okay, up next, I see in my chat that I have a couple of instructors that need to go sooner rather than later. So, Jean Atwater, if you are ready, we are ready. And just remember,
Hi.
2 minutes tops. We have a
Okay.
lot of
So,
instructors. Okay.
hi there. I'm Jean Atwater Williams, and I am your ukulele instructor for. I know you have others, but I'm a new instructor here with Bridgewater State University, and I'm really excited about sharing um, so much about ukulele. It's a great instrument. It's easy to play. But my two courses, which begin on November 2nd, I believe, is the second half. The first one, and they're on Mondays at East Bridgewater Senior Center. And the first one is Beatles and the ukulele and examining how their music changed our society. And you'll also be learning some Beatles songs along the way. The other course is maybe a more serious course, which is Pachelbel's Canon arranged for the ukulele. So we'll be playing in parts, and I'll be teaching folks how to play tab if they don't already know how to do that. And the courses are open to people of all levels. There'll be something for everyone. There'll be easy parts to play and more complicated things to play. So whether you're a newbie or you're more advanced, you're welcome in this course, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited that we connected. Folks that are ukulele enthusiasts will know that Paula Bishop retired, and so I was really excited that I was able to meet Jean. And I think this will, we have our Ed Priest who teaches primarily in Plymouth, and so Jean is filling the Bridgewater space, and it's going to be wonderful. And I'm so excited to have everyone learn from you, Jean. Thank you for being here.
Great, thanks.
Jen Candler. And then after Jen, I will have Dr. Scoble go. So Jen Candler and then Ian Scoble. You're muted, Jen.
Unmute. Okay. Hello. Hi, I'm Jen Candler. I'm teaching watercolor on Intro to Watercolor Tuesdays, 1:40 to 3 at the East Bridgewater Y, and on Wednesday at BSU 4 to 5:20. It's super easy, super fun. Beginners welcome. Please come. We do simple stuff like flowers. There's some flowers from my last class. And we'll work on trees to look how good that is. And then we'll get into landscapes. So we'll paint little tiny landscapes and move on to big landscapes. And you will be a professional by the end of my class. It's just super fun, super easy, make new friends, come and have a good time. And that's it.
Jen, thank you so much. Jen's class will probably fill up on day one. So if you're here, make sure you're interested, make sure you register on the first day that you are able to. We're thrilled that we have another instructor to teach hands-on art classes. Thank you so much, Jen.
You're so welcome.
Dr. Scoble, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Jen. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. So I'm Ian Scoble. I'm a philosophy professor here at BSU. I've been doing senior college since the very first semester, and I'm proud to say I've never taught the same course twice. So every time I try to come up with something new, and what I have in store for you this fall is aesthetics, the philosophy of art. You sometimes think about questions like, well, what is art? People say, well, that's not even art. Well, how do you define what art is? So we'll talk about questions like that. What actually is art? What does that mean? But we'll also talk about interpretive questions. How do you understand a work of art? What are some theories about how to interpret artworks, and what are criteria for goodness? Or is there any such thing as good art versus bad art? Is it all just a matter of opinion, or are there any objective standards that we can think about when we're evaluating art? And there's also social questions in the philosophy of art, questions about censorship or public funding or things of that nature. So there's all sorts of philosophical questions that affect the way we enjoy and appreciate art. Jen asked everybody to say something like, "What do I hope people get out of a course like this?" And in one funny answer that occurred to me is it's the same as in every other course I teach, which is that philosophical thinking is for everybody, and as in all the classes that I teach, I would hope that people come away thinking, yeah, so philosophical thinking is fun and interesting and beneficial to my life, and so I'm happy to have yet another thing in my life to think philosophically about. So hope to see some of you in the fall to talk about the philosophy of art.
Thank you so much, Dr. Scoble. I know I'm just so grateful for you. You've been with us since day one, semester one, and it's an honor to have you back this fall offering this class that I think a lot of people will find very useful. I know so many of our members are very interested in art in general, so that's great. Thank you so much.
I forgot
Okay.
to mention, this is an in-person class. It's Bridgewater Public Library in person. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Okay, so up next we have Audrey Ma, and then after Audrey, we'll have Paul Phelan. Audrey, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm Audrey with Four Blondes Mahjong, and I am going to be bringing Mahjong to Bridgewater State this fall. So we're going to start in September on the 12th, I believe. It's going to be Saturdays for 4 weeks. We'll go over how to play American Mahjong, how to read the National Mahjong League card, how to understand the game and build strategy. And my hope is that you'll understand that the game is so much more than a board game. It's all about community and connection. And then you'll be able to go on and play this with your friends and family.
Audrey, thank you so much. I'm really excited. This is a brand new course. I've always wanted to have, for years, I've been looking for instructors who would teach like strategy courses or, various card game courses. So this is really exciting for us. And I do have a feeling it'll fill up like on day one. So if you're interested, you'll want to register right away for that. So Audrey, thank you so much for being here and look forward
Thank you
to seeing you in
guys.
the fall. Okay, up next we have Paul Phelan, and after Paul Phelan, we'll have Joe Nunes.
Hi everyone, it's lovely to meet you all virtually here this morning. Some familiar faces and some new faces. My name is Paul Phelan, and I've been doing an Irish book club for I think maybe it's coming into our fifth or sixth time doing it. We meet on Thursdays. It's all virtual. Classes are recorded between 6:30 and 7:45, and we've had a fabulous time. I think over the last couple of years reading contemporary Irish books by famous older authors, and that book club led to what Jen had mentioned, us going to Ireland to meet some of the authors in one case, and doing a fantastic trip in Ireland last year. And this year, we went to Scotland and read Scottish authors. So I'm excited, as I always am, for our upcoming book club. We always have a great time, great, healthy, vibrant discussions. And I get really excited about curating the books, and I've got some really good books. I almost want to tell some of the people what their books are, but you're right to be, I'll tell you, because we've got some good books lined up for this semester. So I can't wait for the fall. It's always a pleasure doing this class and a privilege. So I look forward to it on Thursdays. Some familiar faces and hopefully some new faces. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks, Paul. Good to see you. Miss you.
You too.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being such an important part of our senior college community for so long now. Appreciate you. Okay, Joe, you're up next. Joe Nunes. Oops, you're muted, Joe. You're on mute. Joe, can you hear me? You're on mute. Joe teaches in person, so that's good.
Okay. Is that better, Miss Jen?
Yes, you're good.
All right, very good. Good morning, all. Let me start this all over again. My name is Joe Nunes, and I am going to be teaching a class on October 6th on Tuesday afternoons from 4 to 5:30. And the class is going to be on space exploration. This being a senior college, we all saw the Mercury, the Gemini, and the Apollo missions as young adults. But did we understand them? Did we know what they were doing, what their mission accomplishments were? Well, I'm going to be talking about all of those mission accomplishments and what they did, what they were responsible for, and how far we have progressed in this field of space exploration. We'll talk about what they ate, their spacesuits, the craft that they had. Talk about solid rocket fuel versus liquid rocket fuel and the differences between the two and why they were used. We'll also talk about the shuttle missions, the International Space Station, and where are we going in the future for space exploration and space travel. We're going to be talking all about that. And there's one subject that I did my research on that I hope my students will do their research on so that we can discuss it. And that is, are we alone? A big question. Are we alone in the universe? For my fellow students, that will be one topic of discussion. And one surprise subject at the end of session 6, and I don't want to give that away, but we'll be talking about a very special subject at the end of session 6. Hope to see some of my fellow students. This will be my third class that I teach at Bridgewater State University. Enjoying it very, very much. Really love doing the teaching aspect, but also being a student of the college. Thank you all. Hope to see you in October. Take care of yourselves.
It's Joe. Good to see you. Joe's a great example of someone who was a member for many years. And then one day he just came up to me and said, I think I can teach a class. And he's done an excellent job and has a really loyal group of people that enjoy learning from him in person on our campus. And it's just a great, I know folks are learning a lot from you. When we were going to Scotland, we were on the plane and we were like, just having conversation. We're like, how do planes fly? And then I thought, we have a class last semester called How Do Planes Fly with Joe. So it's just funny. Like you get all your questions answered about life and the world around us here in senior college. So thanks, Joe. Up next, we'll have Chanel and then Annabelle Green. Hi, Chanel. Good to see you.
Hi, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name's Chanel. I'm going to be teaching on Thursday afternoons in October. My course is called Power, Privilege, and Oppression. So just a little snippet about me. I work at Bridgewater State in the athletics department. My class is going to be online, though, and it's going to really I know like power, privilege, and oppression probably sounds a little bit intimidating. You're probably like, what am I going to talk about in this class? Or even like, am I going to say the wrong thing if I sign up for this class? But I think that's why this course is really important. And these topics are topics that show up every day, whether you realize it or not, in family and media and communities. But this course is really to give you a space to like slow down and kind of explore those things together. And you don't have to come to class like thinking that you have to know all the terminology or having all the answers. I actually think that's the best part about learning in these types of spaces because we're willing to be curious and ask questions and sometimes even be vulnerable and uncomfortable. Hence why the reason why this semester I won't record our classes, but we'll explore race, gender, socioeconomic status, different experiences in the world, and just be able to like listen to each other. My classes are very, really interactive, engaging. I like to have a lot of conversations, activities, real world examples. So the goal isn't for everyone to like agree on everything in my class at all. It's just a space to hear from one another, learn from each other, hear different perspectives, and even kind of challenge some of your own assumptions. So yeah, I hope to see some folks in my class in October if you're interested. Yeah, just lean into that curiosity. And if you are, my class is the best place to come and do that. Thank you, everyone.
Chanel, thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you back offering this important class, but I love your approach to this work, which is so inclusive and letting people, it's okay to make, to confront our own assumptions, make mistakes along the way, and you offer a space to do that. And so I'm excited that you're back and offering this important class. Thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
also
you.
wanted to say to instructors, like, you don't have to stay on the Zoom. Like I know you're all busy, so please don't feel obligated to stay. You're of course welcome to. If there's any specific questions that come up about your course, I will be sure to let you know. But I just don't want you to feel obligated to stay for the whole time. But you're welcome to, of course. Okay, up next we have Annabelle Green, and then after Annabelle, we'll have Nan Loggins. Annabelle, welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Annabelle Green. I currently work for Student Accessibility Services at Bridgewater State. I'm excited to be back for my second senior college class this semester. I'll be doing Exploring Ballet through Steps and Stories. It will start on September 26th at 10:40 a.m. We will have a pause in the class for homecoming on the 3rd of October, but then resume for the following 5 weeks after that. Um, I'm excited for this class because we will be doing some dancing. So we'll be doing some ballet steps. We'll be beginner friendly. There'll be modifications and supports if needed. And I also wanted to include the beautiful stories of ballet along the way. So connecting some of the movements we'll be doing in class to some ballet stories and ballet music um, in the time periods. And I'm really excited to potentially offer this class to have a small performance opportunity as well. That's optional. And it'll be taught alongside TAP, which will be right before it, which my lovely friend Carolyn will talk about soon. But if you all have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, and I hope to dance with you soon.
Thank you, Annabelle. We're so excited. Our first ever dance courses this fall. It's very exciting. Those will be taking place in the auditorium, right? In Boyden Hall. So if you know the campus, it's the big administration building with the big pillars, and we have a beautiful auditorium. So we have a great space for folks to come and have this experience. And so now thanks, Annabelle, and we'll move to Nan Loggins. And then after Nan, we'll have Carolyn Holbrook talk about her jazz class.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, Jen? I'm on a new
I can.
computer at work. Okay.
Yep. Good.
I'm Nan Loggins, and I've been teaching history and economics at Bristol Community College for the past 16 years. And I've been teaching an assortment of classes in the senior college since the fall of 2020. This fall, I'll be offering several classes, including Faith and the American Public Square, Christians, Jews, and Muslims. And this class came about at the request of some of my students, especially since religion is coming up a lot in public conversation. So we'll be covering that. That'll be on Tuesdays, running from September 15th to October 20th from 10 to 11:20. It'll be on Zoom, and it is recorded. Right after that class ends, the following week, I'll be beginning Rights, Roles, and Resistance, Women in America, 1950 to Present. And I think that'll be interesting. And I hope a lot of the men in the group consider taking that as well as the women. Again, that's October 27th to December 8th on Zoom and recorded. Then I'm continuing with what I think is our popular political discussion group, Issues of the Day. That meets on Wednesdays from 10 to 11:20, and it runs the entire semester with a couple of days off for holidays that happen to fall right around that time. That is not recorded because I want people to feel comfortable to, express themselves. So we don't record that. We'll be covering all sorts of issues that will be coming up in relation to the midterms. And also we'll focus a little bit on some of the Massachusetts ballot measures. That was popular when we did that a few years ago. And finally, I have the Between the Lines book group, and we meet the first Thursday of the month, October, November, and December from 10 to 11:20. And we're starting out with West with Giraffes if you wanted to get the book. So I think that was under 2 minutes.
You did great, Nan, for especially all the incredible content that you deliver through all the courses. If you haven't probably noticed, Nan is one of our most beloved instructors. This June, I had the pleasure of giving her our Instructor Appreciation Award at our member appreciation event that we had in June. It was really difficult getting Nan to attend. I had to kind of really be a little sneaky to get her out and in person with us. And it was like having a rock star. She had this line of people that were waiting to meet her in person. So we're thrilled. All Nan's courses are on Zoom, making them super accessible, which I just love so much, and always bringing us such wonderful new content. I mean, Nan, you could start repeating some of those older classes that you've taught before if you want to. I know you love offering new things, but there's some that were very real popular back in the day that you could recycle if you wanted to. Thanks, Nan. Okay, now I can't remember who I said I said Carolyn Holbrook. Carolyn, welcome. Nice to meet you. I don't think we've ever met face to face.
I know. Hello, everybody. I am new to senior college this year teaching. My name's Carolyn Holbrook. I currently work at BSU in the Student Accessibility Services office, and I will be teaching Tap into Rhythm, beginner tap dancing, beginning in the fall. That will be on Saturday mornings beginning on September 26th, and that will be from 9 to 10:20 a.m. So right before my colleague Annabelle's ballet class. So really with my course, I really want to teach the fundamentals and the basics of tap dancing, but ultimately I really want the participants in my class just to take away the idea that you're never too old to start a new hobby, and you're never too old to even pick up maybe a hobby you had back in the day. And so I really just want everybody to have fun. If everyone can learn at least one tap move or one piece of tap dance vocabulary, then that's enough for me. But ultimately, I want everybody just to have fun. It's going to be a very low pressure, very relaxed environment. There will be plenty of room for mistakes. But the ultimate goal, again, is to have fun and to kind of explore fitness in a different way as well, and learn that something fun like dance can also be fitness and can be a great way to get exercise. And I'm just really excited to dive into senior college, to be able to finally teach something I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about performing arts, and to be able to work with this portion of the Bridgewater community in such a fun way. So I hope you'll join me on Saturdays at 9 for some tap dancing.
Carolyn, thank you so much. I'm really excited for your course and Annabelle's, and this is a new thing for senior college, and I'm thrilled that you were willing to take a chance with us. And I know your class is going to be very popular. I do think people will want to sign up early for both your class and Annabelle's class. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit now, and I'm going to turn it over to Jim Kirkcaldy and then David Barrett. So, hi, Jim. Good to see you.
Nice seeing you. Thank you very much. I'm teaching quite a few, and what I do when I teach a course, I rotate them through the different centers. So, for example, my 4 art courses have been working themselves through Attleboro, for example. And but I have a new one, and that's the one I just want to talk about. It's wars since 1945. Now, obviously, we're not covering all the wars. I picked a few that I think stand out. And there's 2 types of wars I think it's worth discussing. One is the typical guerrilla type war, counterinsurgency, and the other is the conventional war, like what you see going on in the Ukraine, for example, with Russia. And so I picked out key wars that really made a difference. And the first couple week sessions, they're kind of short. By the way, there's no battles I'm going over. It's all about what was the strategy, did we win, what went wrong, and very often it's what went wrong. And so be looking at some of those, some of that you never heard of before, such as the Malayan insurgency in the late 50s, which was a success. And later that became sort of like a role model for other wars of insurgency, and they didn't always work out well. But the main point will be the last 4 sessions. I'll look at Vietnam, which was 1964 to 1975, Iraq 2003 2011, Afghanistan 2000 to 2021, the Ukraine 2024. Notice what they have in common. None of them ended the way they were supposed to. And what went wrong? And so a lot of it is, no one doubts the U.S. has one of the best armies in the world. But what happens, as Gates, who was our Secretary of Defense, once said, the United States is very good at overthrowing the government. It's what they replace it with is where things fall apart. And the old saying, history repeats itself. Well, I think history rhymes, but you're going to see that there's a real disturbing sequence there where maybe it's hubris, that a lot of our leaders and Putin as well have this sense of arrogance even, that we can win without taking into consideration really the other side. We'll also obviously be looking at the war with Iran. It's February 28th. My class begins, October 28th. Okay, and it's at Bridgewater. We start a new course in Bridgewater, and it's I think it starts at 10:40 or something like that. And anyways, my point is, I will be, if the war is still going on, we'll be discussing that because there's still a lot of parallels. And Putin is a great example also of one person said that Putin went to war with a lousy army and a stupid war. And I think that really kind of sums up what's happening there. So a lot of good discussion, and I've enjoyed looking into this, and my research is based on the experts pretty much, both liberal, conservative, and so forth. So I'm looking forward to some good discussion. But it is troubling to see how these wars have lasted so long, and they're all meant to be short. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jim. You're, as you know, a longtime instructor teaching in various locations. I know how much effort and work you put into your courses, and people enjoy them so much. So if you haven't taken one of Jim's courses yet, you are missing out, and I would strongly encourage you to sign up for one. Thanks for being here. Okay, now Dawn Running, welcome. Glad to have you here.
You. So this is my first run at senior college. I'm teaching a class on trying to make a point that James Brown is the single most important musician that America has ever produced. So in 6 sessions, we're going to look at where he came from. I mean, bottom line is James Brown grows up in a gospel tradition, is in the mix of turning gospel secular into soul, single-handedly invents the concept of funk, and then most modern hip hop can be looked at as uh, part of what James Brown created. And I feel like if you went around the world and asked people, what does American music really sound like? Their answer is going to be something derivative of the music of James Brown. So we'll look at woo, um, and I've got a stack. I don't know. The perspective isn't great of old James Brown vinyl that we can pass around. Listen to the music. Listen to the development of where the music came from, where it's going, and also spend. I've got one day set aside for where James Brown saves Boston from burning to the ground, and um, another section of like, well, then what happened? What happened to the music? So we can take a section of 60s music and look at psychedelia into Earth, Wind, and Fire, into Sly and the Family Stone, into Parliament Funkadelic, and we're like, oh, we leave James Brown behind as kind of like the pioneer, but kind of the old man that's really not able to keep up. And then, of course, the inevitable crash and burn at the end. But I think it's going to be super fun. I've been reading a lot of books on the subject, listening to a lot of music, and looking forward to James Brown at the library.
Don, Donald, thank you so much for being here. What you didn't mention is that you're a professor of music here at Bridgewater State
Oh, sure,
University. And I
yeah.
just wanted to say that because I am shameless in my harassment of our faculty at BSU, and they're incredibly busy. And I'm just so thrilled to have a professor of music teaching a class in senior college. We had Paula Bishop before, but you're, I think, our first full-time, tenured faculty who's teaching with senior college. So I'm honored that you would take the time to offer this class. I also wanted to say, I grew up in the 80s, so Michael Jackson was my, obsession as a young, in my teens. And I just saw the Michael movie and realizing how much he was influenced by James Brown. I mean, like he literally scene after scene is just showing him watching James Brown and emulating him in so many ways. So I had never made that connection before because I just loved Michael, and wasn't a James Brown fan. So yeah, that'll be really interesting class. Okay, thank you so much, John. Great to see you. Okay, so up next we'll have David Barrett, then Matt Davis. Welcome, David.
Hey, can you hear me well?
I can. I can. You're good.
Good, good. Jen, I really enjoyed the first class I'd ever done with senior college in the springtime, and you were kind enough to allow me to do a smaller one in the fall, which is what we'll do. It's called Churchill's Secret Armies. And in fact, just to give you a very brief overview, just over 10 years ago, the British government released from the Official Secrets Act the story of the formation and the operations of the Special Operations Executive. Now, it was a secret plan created by Churchill in 1940 when he knew that Britain was alone in the fight with Nazi Germany, and they needed to find secret ways to stop the invasion of Britain. So I put together a two-part presentation explaining the formation, training, and operations of the Special Operations Executive and how it managed to defeat the Nazis in 1945. And this will take place on Friday, September the 11th and the 18th at 1:30 p.m. So I look forward to seeing some of the people that we had on my 6-week presentation on Britain's war.
Thank you so much, David. You will see people because they demanded that I make sure that you come back and offer this special shorter class on Churchill's Secret Army. So it's not me being nice, it's the demand was there, and people were letting me know how much they enjoyed learning with you and learning from you. So thank you so much for coming back. Okay, so now I can't recall if I can't recall if I said so. Oh, Matt Davis, Matt. So we'll do Matt and then we'll do Richard Brabbander. Matt, welcome. I think you're muted, Matt. Yep, you're muted, Matt. You're still muted. I did hit the ask to unmute button. So at the bottom of your screen, you should have a little audio button that has like a red line or a splash through it, and it should give you the option to unmute. No, you're still muted. Should I go on? I'll go on to someone else. If you get it, unmute, just unmute and just stay, and then we'll come right back to you. Richard Brabbander, welcome.
Hello. My name is Richard Brabbander. Great to see you all. I have taught at Senior College once before. I am a history professor at Bridgewater. I've been teaching since 2008, and I'm originally from New York, and I got my PhD at Brandeis. So my topic is Women in Power, a Global History. I have taught this once before, but I have 5 new women to examine. And so I approach this topic from several different perspectives. One, I am a world historian, formally trained, so I don't privilege the West. So that allows me to look at these topics and these women in history from a different perspective. I'm seeking to look at how these women, we often look and examine at leaders in history to see how effective they are. But we have to understand that when women rise to the occasion to become leaders, not only do they have to be great leaders, but they have to deal with all the issues that women face in the patriarchy, right? So they've got restrictive gender roles, cultural norms and traditions, pushback from elites and pervasive religious establishments. And yet all of these famous women in history have led their countries, their nations to great heights. And so this semester, we're going to look at Elizabeth I, Catherine the Great, Roxolana, who was the de facto ruler of the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century, Empress Dowager Cici from China, who basically ruled right through the Boxer Rebellion, and then bringing it to contemporary times, Angela Merkel, who was leader of Germany very recently. Yeah, so I like to approach this from as a historian, but also as a politics junkie and politics major. So we'll talk about the politics of why it is the United States has yet to have a woman leader, and to see how that in some ways is shaped by the experiences of these famous women in history. My sessions are recorded. It's on Zoom, and it starts in October on Tuesday mornings. And I look forward to having more discussions about these famous women in history. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're back with a new set of historical women for us to learn about, unpack, analyze. Almost at least 2 or 3 times a week. Darlene and I get messages from folks, older adults who reach out to the university and want to take a college class. And usually they're saying, well, can I audit it? Is it free? I'm an older adult. And we're like, this is why we have senior college. You get to learn from our our faculty and all our other great instructors, full-time, part-time staff members in this environment that's so accessible and affordable. And I just think, so many people I know would love to take like a whole full semester class with you, Richard. And this is such a great opportunity for folks to be able to learn from you and all your expertise in the field of history. So thank you so much for engaging with us. I'm so excited for this class. Okay, up next, did I announce anyone? I don't think I did. So, Ellen, let's hear from you. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
And after Ellen will be Joanne. Sorry, Ellen, didn't mean to
That's
interrupt.
right.
Okay.
Okay, this term I will be teaching a class on the Transcendental Women, Champions of Social Justice. And I'm excited to hear about Jen Loggins and Richard Broadbender's classes on women's studies, because this will be a really fun one to take in conjunction with Jen's class, Rights, Rules, and Resistance, because we're going to be exploring.
Nan. I think you mean Nan Loggins,
Oh, Nan,
right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Nan,
sorry.
Nan,
Yep.
Nan Loggins. We're going to be exploring the women in the Transcendentalist movement. Last term, we discussed American Transcendentalism as the first intellectual movement in America. And we discovered, we explored Emerson and Thoreau and Hedges and all of the greats in the movement who wrote a lot of material. But then we discovered that Margaret Fuller, Elizabeth Peabody, her sister Sophia Peabody, a number of other women were also prolific writers. These are a few of the ones we are going to be just talking about in my class. And I have just really enjoyed doing the deep dive into these women. There's a lot of recent scholarship on the subject. And one of the people that the highlight of the class, I think, is going to be having Megan Marshall, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning historian, come to our class. It's on Zoom. So she's going to be Zooming in from her home in Belmont. I think it's the third or fourth Thursday of our class. The class is going to be on Zoom Thursday mornings at 10, starting September 24th for 6 weeks. And I've been in pretty extensive communication with Megan Marshall. She's very impressed with senior college and loves that she will be able to talk to us about the importance of not only Margaret Fuller, who is a seminal person in the Transcendentalist movement, but also the other under-recognized women in the movement, many of whom their writings were precursors to the great works of Emerson and Thoreau. So I'm excited about doing this, and there's a lot of, built up interest in it from my previous course, but you don't need to have taken the previous course on Transcendentalism to fully enjoy this one.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ellen. I mean, where else could you have this community and access to these authors? And thank you so much for coordinating all that. If you don't mind, please keep me posted
Absolutely.
when the date is. I'd love to attend that session if you don't mind. That's great. Thanks, Ellen. Welcome back. Matt, it seems like you are now unmuted. Can you
Please
say
tell me
something?
I'm unmuted.
You are. You're good. You're good.
Okay,
Welcome.
great. This is why I don't teach on Zoom. But at any rate, hi, I'm Matt Davis. I was a psychology professor for about 30 years, and this will be my third semester with senior college. And I really like the idea of not having to grade papers and just being able to lecture and have discussions about great topics. So I'm going to have a busy fall. I'm teaching 2 new classes at the Sandwich Center for Active Learning, Active Living, which if you have not been there is a beautiful facility. I loved teaching there last spring. I'm teaching 2 back-to-back classes, a media psychology, TV and society class. So if you're a TV buff like I am, you'll definitely want to take this course. We'll talk about television's effects on us, both at the individual and the societal level. And we'll go through kind of a history of TV across the decades and look at some of the trends and the most influential and important shows. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm also teaching at Sandwich La Dolce Vita, exploring Italy's history, language, and culture. So it's an immersion class in Italy. I'm going to be talking about some aspects of Italian history, the Roman Empire, Pompeii, how Venice was founded. We'll talk about the Italian language. We'll talk about cultural norms and popular culture in Italy. and some travel and cuisine lectures as well. So that should be fun for any Italophile or someone that wants to go to Italy soon. Over at Bridgewater, I'll be teaching at the Old Colony YMCA on Tuesdays. Why did I do that? The Power of Social Influence. It's kind of an introductory social psychology course with a special emphasis on topics like conformity, obedience to authority, social norms, and a lot of persuasion techniques that advertisers and salespeople use to get us to buy their products. And finally, Wednesdays at the Bridgewater Library, I'll be teaching my natural disaster class. That was my specialty when I was a professor. It's called Life on an Unpredictable Planet, Coping with the Threat of Natural Disaster. And basically, we're going to talk about how we live with risk, how we see our risk from natural disasters. You'll learn about how and why things like earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunami, why they happen, where they happen, what their effects are. And we'll also talk about some of the psychological aspects of recovery from those kind of traumatic events. So I will be a busy man running around on the highways of Massachusetts for the fall. Those all run from September 15th to the end of October.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Matt. I am so thrilled that we connected with each other. I get so much positive feedback on your courses. Love that you're a in-person specialist at our various locations. And yes, the Sandwich Center for Active Living. If you live anywhere, that's a drivable distance. It's just beautiful. And of course, I live in Sandwich. Like you could just make a whole day of it. It's just, such a wonderful little town with great restaurants. So maybe come with a friend and then you could switch off driving. So, 1 week your friend drives and the next week you drive. It's a great
I drive
destination.
from New Bedford. It's not that bad, and I can tell people a great place to get lobster rolls after class.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, I like that. The other thing I would just say is that, there's no traffic usually during the week, at the time the bridge traffic is over. So if that's something you're interested in, take a look at Matt's classes here in Sandwich. Okay, so according to my list, I think I have 3 instructors left in the Zoom. So I have Joanne Burns, Lucy, and Ron Reynolds. If there's any other instructors here that I'm not seeing, please write in the chat that you're here. But we'll hear from Joanne and then Lucy. Welcome, Joanne. Good to see you.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to see you too. I first want to say that every single one of those classes sounds wonderful. I would love to take every single one. Last semester was my first time teaching. I have never had more fun teaching. That class was just so much fun. I walked out of there feeling wonderful. I do want to apologize for not attending the barbecue. I had just found Coco. It was 2 days later, and I didn't tell anybody how sick he really was. He almost died. So that's a long story. How two perfect people.
For people that, by way of background information, for people that don't know, Joanne offered a class this past semester, a birding course that was co-taught by Coco, who is her red-tailed hawk that she rescued. And at a certain point during the semester, Coco got loose, and it was incredibly harrowing, stressful, traumatic time for Joanne. So thank you. I just wanted people to know in case they weren't in that class.
Yeah. So he came back 2 months later. He's doing great. I know. And now he's got a little baby brother, Barn Owl. We'll see. They haven't met yet. But so my classes, I'm teaching a couple, the bird class, which I'll be teaching again. And it's such a huge topic that there's still so much that I can go over. But the first class is going to be on bats. I have been a state and federal permitted wildlife rehabilitator for 30 years. I did have an education baddie for 3 years that I did programs with until I lived with. She used to sleep under my pillow. So not only can I discuss the 9 bats we have, the 4 that are endangered, why they're endangered, white nose syndrome, but I can also tell you a little more personal stories about how they purr and etc. My other class is going to be on wild animals at night, mammals at night. The nighttime is full of wild animals. You have no idea what's going on in nighttime. And I have a lot of experience just with, rehabbing those mammals and things that people don't know about that you can read about. And the third one will be on bats again. And this year I'll have the barn owl as well to show. He doesn't have a name yet, though. But I hope that everybody will join me again, just because I learned as much as I hope everybody else learned. I really had such a great time. It was wonderful. And I hope to see you all again. Really, you guys were wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joanne. We look forward to having you back for your I walked in that day, that room was packed. People love birds and learning from all your expertise and knowing more about the important work you do in terms of wildlife rescue. So thank you so much for coming back. Everyone's excited to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to welcome Lucy. Lucy's first-time instructor with Senior College. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, good morning, everyone. You can call me Lucy. My Chinese name is Chen Liao Liao. Chen is my family name, and Liao Liao is my first name. Chinese names often have the first name last and last name first. This is Chinese culture. After having this course, you will then understand why the names are reversed from their English counterparts. I'm a faculty member from Shanghai Normal University in China, currently a visiting scholar here at Bridgewater State University. I want to invite you on a journey, a gentle journey, one that doesn't require any prior knowledge of China, no exams, and absolutely no pressure, just curiosity and a willingness to share. What is this course about? It's called The Wisdom of Tea, Calligraphy, and Togetherness, a gentle journey into Chinese culture. And it is designed specifically for senior learners with you in mind. Over 6 relaxed 18-minute sessions, we will explore Chinese culture together, not as something distant or academic, but through stories, images, videos, and gentle hands-on discoveries. So what will we actually cover in these 6 sessions? First, we will talk about Chinese philosophy and literature, understand development and basic features of Chinese ancient philosophy, and appreciate classical literature of different dynasties. Second, we will explore culinary culture, features of Chinese food, regional cuisines, and not just the flavors you may already love, but the wisdom behind them, the idea that what we eat is connected to our health and harmony. Third, we will dive into calligraphy, arts, and music, the beauty of brush pen and ink, the elegance of Chinese painting, and the sounds of traditional instruments. And what's more, you will actually get to try your hand at writing a lucky fortune character with a brush pen. No skill required. Fourth, we will explore major traditional festivals and the 24 solar terms, why the Chinese New Year moves every year, how families gather for the Mid-Autumn Festival, and how ancient farmers knew exactly when to plant and harvest by watching the skies and the seasons. Fifth, we will gently move our bodies with traditional physical activities, not as a workout, but as a form of moving meditation. You will learn about the philosophy behind Tai Chi and try simple exercises from 八段锦 that are perfectly safe for seniors. And finally, we will take a virtual journey to major tourist cities and World Heritage sites, from Beijing to Shanghai, from Xi'an to Hangzhou, seeing how China preserves its treasures while embracing the modern world. Why this course? Why now? Many of us have lived long enough to know that the best learning happens when we connect it to our own lives. So in every session, I will invite you to share your own stories, your family traditions, your memories of seasons changing, your own small rituals. Because culture isn't just something we study, it's something we live. I hope to see you in class. Thank you.
Lucy, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I was introduced to you. Many of you have know Wing Kai To. He's a professor here at BSU, and he introduced me to you. And I'm so excited to have you teach your course in person on our campus. I know it'll be a great cultural learning experience for our members. So welcome to BSU. We're happy to have you
Thank
in senior
you.
college. Okay, last, but certainly not least, is Ron Reynolds. Ron, welcome. Good to see you.
I believe I'm unmuted.
You are. You're
Okay,
good.
good. Good morning, everyone. I'll be teaching two courses on Friday mornings on Zoom, and they're recorded, so if you miss something, you can always catch up. The first class will be in the first half semester, and it's going to be another photography class, somewhat of a continuation from courses I've had before, where what I like to do is to try to teach you how to get a good photograph out of your camera, which might be an iPhone or an Android, because the class isn't going to be geared toward any particular device, but simply whatever you use to capture pictures. And we hope to get the best images we can when we take the photo. But also in the process, I want to show you what can be done with post-processing to take a poor picture and save it, or take a good picture and make it superb. For post-processing, I use my computer, Photoshop Elements, but you don't have to have that to profit from the experience. So some of the people in the class will have been in the previous classes. Some of you will be new. Both groups can profit from the experience. Most weeks will be taking images we'll have taken and critique them. What makes this nice? What could make it better? And then sometime through the fall, and this is one reason I wanted it in the first half semester, I'd like to do a meet and greet at some photogenic site where we get to meet one another and also collectively take pictures. And then the next week, look at them at class and see all of the different things we saw while looking at the same thing. The second half semester, I'll be teaching a new class, which has been requested, which I'm entitling The Race to Space, from the Montgolfier to Artemis, or Artemis, depending how you prefer to pronounce it. I want to begin looking out at the beginning attempts at getting aloft, going back to the time when people felt they could put wings on and jump off of a cliff and glide to the bottom. It didn't work out too well for some of these folks. But of course, today we have hang gliding, which uses the same principle. And then we'll be going to the Montgolfier, the lighter than air balloons, dirigibles, blimps. Then finally, getting to the early days of airplanes, and we'll be looking at the Wright brothers, Amelia Earhart, Lindbergh, then Chuck Yeager, who broke the sound barrier, and then finally going into the space program and the formation of NASA. And I'd like to go through the space shuttle program in particular. Some of you may know I was involved with NASA for a number of years, and I had the good fortune to have visited almost all of the space centers to get to see things the normal person can't get in to see. I was able in Palmdale, California, to see the new stealth bomber when it was being built, or the construction of Discovery when that was being built. I was a state finalist in the Teacher in Space program, so I'm going to have a lot of personal reminiscences into this. Some of the photos will be my own, some will be things I've pulled off of the internet. I had some photos I took years ago that I can't find now. I have so darn many pictures. I thought I had them organized, but I found that hasn't worked out as well as I thought. But I like to use PowerPoint, and in the slides show pictures of what I'm talking about, or talking points. I don't intend to have something which you could just read and get the same thing as you could have if you'd attended the class and I read it to you. To me, that's the perfect way to put the observer to sleep. And I probably won't put you to sleep. I talk too loud. My wife says I talk too much. I have some friends I talk to on the telephone. It goes on for an hour, and I get off the phone, and she says, and they say women like to talk. Men do too. You know, if you're having good conversation with someone, it's wonderful. But this course, I've already put a lot of work into it, and right now I'm up to jet planes. So now I've got to go to the space program itself, and I work on it a little bit every couple of days. And I hope to see you in the fall. I hope the class will be well attended and popular. And I'll see you later, I hope. Peter Zane.
Thanks, Ron. Great to see you. We're so excited to have you back. You've been with us for a very long time. Everyone loves you. You're one of our most beloved members of this community. And you were also a participant before you were an instructor, if my memory serves. And you have so much knowledge to share. We're so grateful to you. So thank you. Wow. Folks, we did it. 19 instructors came. I just find that so impressive. Thank you for your attendance. Quickly, I just wanted to address a couple of things that came to mind for me why the instructors were sharing their information. So one is that we added a few other classes after the initial release. So just make sure you're looking at the schedule carefully. We added Spanish 5 with Maureen Holbrook at Bridgewater State University. That's going to be on Saturdays. It's sort of like the more, like if you'd been taking the classes with Maureen in the past, you might want to consider that. Or if you have some experience with Spanish, this might be a good place for you. We also have French for Travelers, Bienvenue en France with Maureen Holbrook. This would be great if you're on that trip to France or if you're just interested in getting a very beginner's level of French. Also at the BPL, starting on Wednesday, September 16th. And then we added a really important class that's the first part of a series. It's the Human Rights 1, Environmental Sustainability. This will be led by Dr. Denez Leuenberger. She is actually the Chief of Staff here at BSU and Vice President for Planning and Strategy. She's also a Professor of Political Science and Public Administration here at BSU. Incredibly knowledgeable scholar. And it will be the first part of a 3-part series that she'll offer on human rights. So you might want to check that out if you haven't had the chance yet too. I also wanted to answer a question about the parking. So the way that if you're parking here at BSU to take an in-person class, we arrange with the campus facilities and campus police to let them know that you'll be here. So you don't need to get a formal sticker or parking pass. We let them know. But with that said, that is because our classes are at times when the parking is not in high demand. So a Saturday or after 4:30, we've already let them know that there'll be about 40 cars here for this class. It doesn't mean you can just come and park at noontime on our campus. If you do that and you don't have a sticker, you'll get a ticket. So if you want to get a formal, actual sticker, then you need to go through a process to do so. So that's only if you plan on visiting the campus, like to go to the library or something like that. So we'll share more information about that as if you join senior college. But don't worry about parking on our campus for a class. We've made arrangements for that. Actually, I'll stop it here and then I'll stay online for a few minutes. So thank you for your attention. Thank you for being here. See you in the fall. Let us know if you have any questions, and we appreciate each of you. Thank you.